Hi, and welcome to Mixed with Meaning, where we mix cocktails with rituals to pour presence and craft connection. I'm Pete, and today I'm excited to share with you our cocktail that we call the Newfangled. The Newfangled is a recasting and reimagining of the classic whiskey drink, the Old Fashioned. It uses a similar construction, but with a very modern flavor profile. And after I make this drink, I'm going to offer a reflection ritual on modern times and modern life and how everything is changing these days. To make this drink, you're going to need Drumshanbo Sardinian citrus gin, as well as Choya yuzu, simple syrup, and fresh lime and ice. You'll also need a couple of tools. You'll need a cutting board and knife, a measuring jigger, a hand juicer, and of course a serving glass and a stirring spoon. Optionally, you can also use a separate mixing glass. So about this time, you might be asking yourself, what's Sardinian citrus and what's yuzu? Well, Sardinian citrus, which is in the Drumshanbo gunpowder gin, is actually called the Pompeia fruit. It's native to Sardinia, and it's about the size of a grapefruit, and has a really interesting flavor profile that matches wonderfully with the gunpowder tea that's used to make that gin. Yuzu is similarly about a grapefruit-sized citrus fruit that is endemic to Eastern Asia. It looks a lot like a tangerine and has a different flavor profile that actually pairs really well together, especially when we slip in the lime. So to make this drink, you're going to start by adding 3/8 of an ounce each of simple syrup and lime. 3/8 is just, if you got a half jigger, it's 3/4 of that. Next, add a full 1/2 ounce of your yuzu. And lastly, 1 full ounce of gin. And now, just like an old fashioned, we're going to top this with ice. And now stir for about 30 seconds to chill and dilute. Now, if you've mixed in your serving glass, the drink is ready. But if you have a separate mixing glass, prepare your serving glass by adding an ice cube. Then pour your drink. Here you have your Newfangled cocktail. Now, as I mentioned, the flavor profile in here is super modern, and I really love to get more meaning out of this drink with a little reflection ritual on this drink and on modern life. So if you'll join me in this, before you actually take a sip of your drink, I'd ask you to consider the fact that the flavors in this drink had never before been combined on Earth until a few months ago. So you're about to experience something that's new to the world for your very first time. What do you anticipate about that? What are you expecting? Then go ahead and take a sip, or 2 or 3, and see how the actual experience of the drink compares to those expectations. In particular, what about this drink surprises you? Maybe what do you like about it as well? For the reflection part, I'd ask you to consider a change to the way everyone's living these days, or a change that's happened in your life recently. And think about what you were expecting that change would be like, and then when you actually encountered the change, what surprised you about it? Think about how this drink and life might be surprising you, or talk about them with your companions as you sip along in your drink. When you get to about the halfway point done with this drink, you're going to notice that your taste buds are actually becoming familiar with this drink, and you're adapting. Now, as you go to take a sip, your mouth kind of knows what to expect from it. As a result, you might be noticing new nuances of flavor in this drink. And so, as you're becoming acclimated to this drink and adapting to it, what's something you're picking up that's different than you picked up on your first sip? For the reflection part, I'd ask you to consider that modern life and all the changes that are happening in the world, as well as personal changes that might be happening in your life, are causing you to adapt. Some ways you might be really explicitly aware of, and other ways you might not have really thought about so much. I'd ask you to take a moment now and consider a big change that you've experienced and how you're adapting to it. And what about that adaptation has been challenging or maybe actually enjoyable or a growth opportunity for you? As you continue enjoying your drink, consider how you're adapting to this drink and how life is causing you to adapt as well. When you get down towards the very end of your drink, when you've got just those last couple of sips left, I'd ask you to pause for a moment and to consider what about this new drink you actually really appreciate most and you might actually enjoy having some more of. For the reflection aspect, I'll ask you to consider, of all the changes going on in the world or in your life right now, what's one that's actually pretty enjoyable to you or one that you appreciate and you hope will continue on into the future. Final thought as you enjoy those sips is, what did you appreciate about this drink and what do you hope for to come? That's the Newfangled from Mixed with Meaning. I hope you find it delicious, but even more, I hope you find it meaningful. I'd encourage you to consider serving this after an old-fashioned with your friends, well, first being all about nostalgia and the second being all about modern life and looking forward as a fun compare and contrast exercise. If you enjoyed this video, please comment because it means a lot to me. And please subscribe and share. Thank you.